Hello everybody, Ken Hertz here, and welcome to The Joy of Mixing. Today, on today's video, we have for you some multi-tracks here. We are going to go ahead and mix a drum kit, and then we also have a piano down here. And the good news here is that you can go download these multi-tracks and you can follow along with exactly what I'm doing here. This is produced like a pro. Warren Hewart flew out to Hansa Studios in Germany, where they did some recording with Charlie Klauser, who's a artist, I believe, from Germany, and they did a master class out there. She had a song she did, and she did some piano. She played drums. I think she plays guitar, so she's kind of all over the place. And yeah, so they recorded out there. They came back, put these multi tracks up. So if you go down in the description, you'll be able to see the video. I encourage you go check the video out. You'll be able to see the kit. Warren walks through all the mics. We're going to go with, you can actually test out the mics and see which ones work for you. I kind of went through. We are going to be leaning heavily on some Lewitt mics today. I have a bunch of Lewitt. I shouldn't say a bunch of Lewitt mics. I have like 3 or 4 Lewitt mics that I really like. So I'm going to be leaning on the Lewitts in this particular mix. And yeah, we're going to go through. We have the session here. Like I said, there are other mics you can, if you download the session, you'll be able to see there are a bunch of other mics you can pick from. I just kind of went through, picked out the Lewitt mics and a couple other mics I liked. Plus, from watching the video, just seeing what all was available. So I'm going to go ahead and I did kind of balance out a little bit. I didn't want to bore you guys crazy with trying to figure out the balance and all that stuff, but I'm going to go through, do the panning on the drum kit. But I'm going to go ahead and let you listen to the whole thing while I do that. So go ahead, give the song a listen, and I'm going to go ahead and do some just balancing, mixing, panning things, and then we will talk about, for me, with a drum set, it always starts with the kick for me, so we will take a look at the kick. Okay, let's get started. Okay, so let's go ahead for now. I'm just going to mute the, let's just make sure this is all piano. I'm just going to mute the piano for now, just to kind of get it out of the way. We will come back to the piano a little bit later on. Yeah, we're gonna just kind of let the piano hang out there off to the side. We're going to deal strictly with the drum kit for now. So we have a lot going on with this kit. If you watch the video, you'll see there's a lot of different mics going on. It was kind of a mic shootout versus drum kit recording technique and stuff like that. And again, I encourage you, go ahead, check out the video. I left a link down there. Download the multi-tracks. And yeah, you can mix this thing right along with me. And come on, it doesn't get much better than that, right? So, all right, let's go ahead and take a look. So we have the kick. We got the kick out, which was a Neumann U47. And then we have a kick room, which was a Lewitt 441 Flex. I don't own the 441. I do have the, I think it's a 340. I do have that Lewitt. It's a good mic. Definitely recommend it. I'll have to do a review on it at some point. But okay, let's go ahead and check out the kick just to see what's going on here. I can say that there is a third kick mic. Let's just scroll here. A kick-in AKG D112. Now, I didn't use this mic because I didn't, well, you know what? Let's just bring it in and I'll explain why I didn't use this mic. Okay, here's the kick. Okay, so why not the AKG D112? There's obviously some click in that kick mic. I didn't use it because, to be honest with you, I wanted the low end, which I'm hearing more from the Neumann than I am from the AKG, which is really why I decided I wanted to use the Neumann. I like what the Lewitt's doing. You know, sometimes you'll send your kick to a reverb or just a room or something like that. I kind of like what the Lewitt's doing here. It's kind of giving the kick sort of a room feel, which is going to help later down the line. It kind of takes some of the work away. Let's listen to it one more time. Obviously, you have the bleed from the snare. I'm not really that concerned right now with bleed from the snare. You might see videos where people say, you got to get all the bleed out and there can be no bleed anywhere and there should be no bleed at all. No, that's not necessarily true. You know, you want to get rid of bleed when it's a real problem, when it really stands out, when it's really sticking out. I don't necessarily feel that there's a whole lot of that the bleed's going to be a problem. We're trying to get an organic feel out of this kit. You know, you got this beautiful piano playing down here, and we want to really complement that with this sort of organic sounding drum set. So that's kind of what we're going for. So I'm going to leave the bleed in with the kick. I'm not going to try and scoop it out. Okay, so that's our kit. That's what or our kick. Sorry, that's what we have going on there. Let's take a look at the snare. I don't always do a snare top and snare bottom. I'll usually mix with a snare top, but for this episode and this video, I kind of wanted to go ahead and do it, mix with the snare bottom, just so you can get a feel for that and how that would work, and you know how that works. Let's go and listen to the snare. Okay, so not too much going on there, just snare top SM57, snare bottom SM57. I have that microphone, and yes, it is a great mic. Definitely versatile. You can use it on a bunch of different stuff. Okay, let's go on to the hi-hat. Now the hi-hat, we have an SM57 and the Rode. Now if you watch the video, you'll see that these two microphones are taped together for the Dave Jordan hi-hat sort of trick. And I'm going to go ahead and go with it. I'm going to use these two microphones and see what kind of hi-hat sound we can get out of it. I know for me, recording the hi-hat, SM57 does the job pretty well. So if it was me, if that was the only mic I had, I would probably go with an SM57. So let's go and check out the hi-hat. And again, we're getting bleed and stuff, but I'm not super worried about bleed right now. I am going to lean a little bit more on the SM57. It's just kind of a sound I'm familiar with, so I am going to lean a little more on the hi-hat with that microphone. We have our tom low and our tom high, again going with the Lewitt on that. We'll talk about panning too, but let's just go ahead and listen to the toms here. Alright, so we will address the old toms when the time comes. Let's move overhead. Now let's move on to we have an overhead floor. This to me, I believe, is kind of back behind the drummer, just sort of coming over top, like over the shoulder. Let's go ahead and just hear what this mic is doing. Okay, that would be our like kind of over the shoulder Neumann U87 there. Let's go ahead now with the overheads. And I did already pan the overheads. I panned the left overhead left. I panned the right overhead right. Let's go ahead and give that a listen. Once upon a time, I used to take my overheads and pan them full left and full right, but I'm not going to do that for this mix, and I don't really do it much for any mix anymore because I like to go ahead and have my kit. You know, you want the kit left and right. I don't do crazy panning anymore with the drums. Like I said, we have this piano going on down here, and I'm really going to open this piano up left and right, and I don't want to kind of have the drum kit sort of getting in the way of that stereo image, you know, messing around with the piano. I want the piano to be wide, but I want the kit to be, you know, definitely stereo, but not as wide as the piano. At least that's what I'm going for right now. I am hearing the snare more on the right channel in the overheads than I am on the left. So just to kind of make sure that we're not competing with, you know, we're hearing the snare and the overheads on the right, but the snare is panned on the left. I don't want to mess that stuff, you know, mess that up too much, that image up. I don't want to mess it up too much. So I'm going to go ahead and leave the snare panned slightly right, just to kind of be in line with the overheads. For me, typically in a mix, I like to pan my stuff from the drummer's perspective, the snare slightly left, the hi-hat even more so slightly left. You know, my toms would be spread out. The floor tom would probably be not far right, but just off to the right more so than the middle toms would be. So that's typically how I do it, but I did notice that the snare kinds to stick out more on this right side Lewitt. So just to kind of go along with that, I'm going to go ahead and leave the snare pan to the right. Okay. Then we have a floor cymbal. So you'll watch the video. What this basically is a cymbal laying on the floor. It's upside down, facing kind of coning outwards. A microphone right there. Barry Dynamic M260 in this case, right there, picking up the sound. And let's just go ahead and hear what this is doing. Kind of sounds to me almost like a bottom snare mic. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to leave that with the snare that's in the overheads. I'm going to leave it a little bit off to the right. This worst mic technique, now I'm not familiar with this. I'm going to listen to this track and pretty much determine, you know, is this something we can live with or something we can live without? In mixing, you know, sometimes you'll get stuff and you'll have tracks and you'll be like, oh, okay, well, what is this track? What am I supposed to do with this track? Well, let's listen to it and figure out, is this a track that we can live with? Is this a track that we don't need? You know, just one of those things you got to figure out. Let's go ahead and have a listen. Yeah, I don't know. I think I'm going to go ahead and mute this track for now. I don't know. I'm hearing some snare in there. I don't know that we're gonna need this. I think we can probably get along without it. So for now, I'm just gonna leave it muted. We have the Neumann room mic. I believe in the video, this microphone U67 was just put up against kind of the side, kind of like the wood framing or something like that inside Hansa Studios, just kind of to capture some noise there. So let's go ahead and just give us a listen quick. Definitely getting some like low end energy out of that microphone, which I like. So let's go ahead and keep that. Then we have our Thurston mics. I know these mics were used in the video for room mics. They're kind of set up, you know, sort of one up top, one on the bottom, kind of set up like that to capture the room. Let's just go ahead and give these two a listen. one of them's definitely got more of the kick. This left-hand one has more of the kick in it than the right-hand one does. I like it. I think we're going to go ahead and keep that in. I'll probably maybe just kind of bring these back. I had them back at like 12. I'm going to bring them down to 12, 12.8. Okay. Then we have our marble room. Let's give this a listen here. You want to talk about energy? My God, that microphone there is really, you know, it just sounds like it has a ton of energy in it, kind of like what, like a drum crush track would be if you were to send your kid to a, you know, a compressor and compress the living hell out of it and play it. You kind of get this sound, this kind of trashy drum sound, and so really like that. I could see putting some compression on this and not even having to really do a drum crush. I mean, you basically have a built-in drum crush right here with this marble room. So let's just go ahead and pull that back. And okay, that's it. This is the piano. We will play around with the piano later on. Let's go ahead. I'm going to listen just because I made a few small adjustments. I'm going to go ahead, listen to the kit again, make sure the kit is sounding how I want it to sound, and then we will go from there. Okay, so we have a lot of room things happening. Let's go ahead and start off with the kick drum. So what are we going to do with this kick drum? Well, let's go ahead and bring up, I probably should have mentioned early on in the video and I didn't, but we are working in Logic Pro. So if you're in Logic Pro, you can follow right along here. We have the SSL set up here. This is kind of like the channel strip. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go to, let's see if I can find it here. Let's see. No factory presets. Okay, well, let's see what we got. Dirty, trebly bass. Let's just give this a listen. Sold this out. Yeah, I'm liking the sound of this. Let's just play it again. Okay, yeah, I like that. I like that sound a lot. We have a little bit of high passing going on, nothing too crazy. I brought the EQ down to 60, doing an 8.2 dB boost. We have a little bit of, I'm assuming that's 500 um, hertz, 0.52. Yeah, I'm assuming that's 520 hertz, taking that out. And then just giving a little bit of the click sound. Like we were getting a lot of click sound from that inside um, uh, kick mic, but I felt kind of like it was too clicky and not enough low end. So just went back, took that mic out. Now just trying to get that. I want a little click. I want some, but I don't want it to be like it's not going to be heavy metal click sound. It's just going to be this kind of organic click from the kick, but really more so the thing I wanted to get out of this kick was the low end, which is why I liked this kick out. So let's go and check that out one more time and play it in the track. Yeah, I'm really happy with that low end. What this Neumann is doing really sounds nice. I'm gonna bring up the kick room here on this Lewitt, and what we're gonna do is we're going to go grab our old friend, our good pal Pro Q3, and what we're going to do? Well, we're going to just scoop out a little bit of low end. I'm going to come up to about 20, 29. Just give myself a little, nothing too crazy, 60 boost or bouts. Come down to about 300, 250 or so. And again, I'm not just willy-nilly kind of grabbing frequencies and pulling stuff around. We want to listen to this and make sure that the moves that we're making are the moves, in fact, that we want to make. But I kind of have a feeling, I kind of know sort of what I want to hear. So it really is just a question of going through and listening. Let's go ahead. I'm just going to solo this Lewitt mic and then listen back, make some adjustments, and talk to you about what exactly is happening here. You can hear when we add in the 3K frequency band here, when we add that in, we're starting to pick up some of that snare bottom sound that really I want the snare bottom mic to be the main, driving force behind our high end on the snare. So I'm actually just going to take that out and not use it and kind of rely on the click sound that we were getting from our Neumann mic. So let's listen to these two together here. Okay, so let's bring this back up. I can tell you what exactly I'm doing with the Pro Q3. So basically, yeah, taking off some super low end, giving ourselves just a little bit of boost at 60, not going crazy. We have a decent amount of 60 coming from the Neumann mic already, but just to kind of reinforce, just to give it a little bit, bring it up. Can't go wrong, can't hurt, why not? Throw it in there, let's see what we got. And then just taking out a little bit, I'm gonna bring this up. Bringing out a little bit of this low mid kind of muddy, mucky area that we don't really need. You're gonna find that in mixing drums, if you cut out this muddy, mucky area, it's really gonna clean your kit up real nice, and that's what we're going for. So let's go ahead and have this give us a listen here just to make sure we're on the right track. So yeah, I actually wanted to take out, I felt like maybe we were getting too much of the snare bleed, too much of that low end of the snare in this microphone. So I went ahead, took out some 3K, 31K, 3.1K, and then just, just did some low passing, just letting the low pad, some high cutting, I guess you could say. 15K, just kind of rolling out. We don't need that in our kick drum, so just kind of rolling it out. I didn't take it out of the Neumann because I just felt like maybe we should pull it out of this Lewitt room mic. So let's go ahead and have a listen to these two. Just go ahead and hide this. And let's go ahead and put it in the track real quick. yeah, I just want to make sure that the balance sounds pretty good. I like what's going on there. Let's go ahead and just wanted to real quick. Let's assume that you didn't have an SSL channel, channel strip. Well, what could I use if I didn't have an SSL? Um, well, let's see. We could go to waves. Let's try maybe just for shits and giggles. Let's say you have Slate. What can we do with Slate if we wanted to get a good kick sound, but we didn't have the SSL. I like the SSL. I kind of rely on that plugin a lot of the times. Um, but are there other ways we can do it? Maybe is there a better way we can do it? And that's what we're going to find out here. Okay. So now, like I said, what will we do if we didn't have our SSL? What could we use in its place? Let's go ahead and solo this out. Let's hit play here. Yeah, so I mean that's just one way to get a pretty decent kick sound if you don't have you know if you don't have an SSL plugin or whatever. You can use any of these plugins really. I mean, we could put a Fab Filter plugin on here. We could put a Logic Pro plugin on here and come up with sort of the same thing. A good place to start though, this is what I do a lot of times just to kind of save time, is I will go ahead and try to find, some sort of preset that I'm looking for to kind of just get me going in the right direction. You can obviously just pull up a plugin and just start messing around. You'll find, you'll eventually find what you're looking for. But for me, I like to try and see if I can get there with just, with just a preset. Get close with a preset, kind of get you in the ballpark. It saves you a little bit of time and hassle going through and fiddling around and finding what you want. Load up a preset. You'll get there. Hey, that's what I want. I want this. I want this big kick. I want this kick to sound. This low end kick sound. Hey, I want that. Okay, click on that. And it'll get you there. It'll get you close, and then you'll just have to do some minor tweaking. Well, maybe I don't want it to come in at 70 hertz. I want it to come in at 60, or I want it to come in at 50. You can tweak these things as you see fit. So that's kind of how I mix. When I mix, I like to pop in a preset and kind of tailor it to my needs, and it seems to work out really well. Let's go ahead and give this kick one more listen. Yeah, I definitely like the SSL over the Slate. But okay, so let's call it a day for this first episode of mixing this kit. I don't want to really make this a big series. I just kind of want to break it down to maybe, 2 or 3 videos, maybe 35 minutes long each. So next time we come back, we'll go ahead, we'll pick up with the snare. Still hearing a lot of muddiness and low end in this kit sound, but trust me, stick with me, follow me through to the end here. We will get this thing sounding great. And that is all for now. Make sure you go check out the video. Watch what Warren is doing. He walks you through the microphones. Check out Charlie Clouser. Make sure you check out our webpage. And check out Produce Like a Pro. Like I said, you can download these tracks. You can follow along with me, and together we will get this thing mixed. I promise you. So, until next time, everybody, take care. Happy mixing, and I'll see you soon.